recorded this thing at least 5 times now. I spent 2 weekends playing the beta for Concord before deciding not to pre-order the game. My main reason for the decision was the lack of innovative gameplay, uninspiring story, and how unoriginal the entire experience felt, from the characters to the dialogue and setting. It took a couple of weeks to write a script. Before I could finish editing my video, Sony canceled the entire game and scrubbed it from the PlayStation Store. I feel bad for the developers at Firewalk Studios, as it must have been a tremendous amount of work. Despite my criticisms, the game was competently made with responsive controls and high-quality sounds, visuals, and vocal performances. Concord is an online-only multiplayer game heavily inspired by Overwatch. I played the demo for Overwatch, and I ended up buying a physical copy for PlayStation 4. For a while I played the game and I leveled up until the progress started to slow as I gained more and more levels. I liked the design of the characters, but I never really developed a very strong degree of proficiency in playing any particular character. As the skill gaps seemed to increase between myself and many other players, I gradually lost interest. The game's monetization was annoying to me. Success in matches required the appropriate balance of team members, roles with tanks, healers, etc. The absence of a single-player mode really hurt the experience for me. I wanted a story campaign to get me invested in the lore and to familiarize myself with the characters' movesets. Capcom figured this out a long time ago by giving players a test environment to learn the movesets, a training mode. What was I supposed to be talking about again? Oh yeah, Concord. So I played the early access and open betas for Concord. In total, I played 4 hours across multiple days. It seemed to me that Sony's announcement of a new hero shooter failed to create hype. Blizzard's Overwatch easily bulldozed over Gearbox's Battleborn and Boss Key Studios' Lawbreakers. Despite Overwatch 2 failing to improve the formula and really kind of going back to the original, or provide any kind of single-player content, it seems that no one was waiting on Sony to release a derivative game. While I was watching the game's cinematics, I found that they featured high-quality visuals with interesting, albeit familiar, character designs. The dialogue and visual appearance of the Concord crew definitely echoes Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. The banter between characters serves as a mixture of exposition, attempts at banal humor, and mild characterization. From what I gather, bands of free gunners compete for bounties in free space. The basic premise is simple, and the narrative complements the type of competitive gameplay modes across maps spanning the stars. Despite the high-end appearance and well-executed vocal performances, the game's story really failed to draw me in or leave me with any mysteries to ponder. Nothing made me wonder about the universe or backstories for the characters. Inevitably, players will compare these characters to Overwatch characters, which have been developed across multiple seasons and a wealth of supplementary media. My opening spiel about my experience with Overwatch's lack of first-player mode or training room carries across to Concord. The beta failed to explain the game's unique mechanics. I never figured out how, but players can drop stat-boosting plants that buff team members' speed and damage resistance. The color of the plant indicates whether the red or blue team will benefit from stepping on the plant. When players of the opposing team touch a plant of their opponent's color, that player suffers a debuff that lowers player stats such as speed and damage resistance. This mechanic seemed the most helpful in area control, a game mode where players compete to capture and to hold 2 or more zones on the map. Across the early access and open betas, I ranked up to level 12. The cap for the betas was level 14. My progress continued across the first to the second beta test as I amassed more unlockables in the form of cosmetics. During the betas, I had access to 3 different modes. Each mode features 2 teams of 5 players. Occasionally, 1 or more players would drop after character selection, leaving lopsided teams with a smaller team having little to no chance of winning the match. The game's first mode and my favorite of the 3 is Trophy Hunt. Each team competes to kill players of the opposing team and to collect their dog tags. The first team to pick up 30 dog tags wins the match. When a player dies on your team, you or any other player on your team can grab their dog tag to prevent the opposing team from increasing their score. This small change from the highest kill count in a traditional deathmatch mode adds an element of strategy that encourages teamwork and cooperation. The second mode, Area Control, felt more compelling than a traditional base capture mode since the objective is to capture and hold multiple points on the map. I experimented with trying different characters in this mode. I played fast characters with light weaponry like its and kips and attempts to quickly reach the control zones before the other team. Other times I tried to play heavy armored characters like Amari and Starchild so that I could hold a position for a longer period of time. I never managed to get a good understanding of how best to use Starchild's charge attack. I really enjoyed firing Amari's chain gun. Picking up a plant speed boost made a big difference when playing her character, as she moves very slow. I never really mastered her defensive shield. These are the kind of things I wish were explained in a training mode or a single player mode. The third mode, Cargo Run, was the least fun and most unclear. Ostensibly, the goal is to race to capture a Blue Buddy robot and drop it off at an extraction point. This mode is basically capture the flag. Matchmaking for this mode proved to be the least reliable. Most matches ended with my team being eliminated by the other team since characters do not respawn in this mode. On one match I made it to the Blue Buddy with a fast character, but I could not pick it up. An opponent killed me and opened the container holding the Blue Buddy. Nothing made it clear to me that there was a container to open. This was very frustrating to me. I am aware that there is a fourth mode that wasn't available in the beta, but I'm not exactly holding my breath to see what that is. Sony tried to copy Blizzard's homework and misunderstood the assignment. I watched a few cartoons featuring the characters from Concord, and I see Sony's attempt at a massive franchise across various forms of media and merchandise. Unfortunately, Concord lacks enough unique or outstanding features to attract an audience. At best, the game is competent, but derivative. I think that an earlier beta might have helped had the developers prioritize player feedback. The animated video should have been released earlier to help set the stage. If the game had been planned as a free-to-play, then I could have seen it having a stronger chance for success. I wonder if Concord is gone for good. Will Sony give Firewalk Studios the funding to improve the game based on player feedback, or write the whole thing off? I'm no tax lawyer, but it would not surprise me if Sony tried to pull what Warner Brothers did to the Batgirl movie. Only time will tell.